All right, welcome to the second session. Uh, this is the NFT hype explained. With me today we have uh, Somto from Nigeria, and we have Kea Nemesis from Uganda, and we have uh, Thomas Kabochi from Kenya. Nice to meet you all. Now, I will give the panel. I would like to start the panel off with each one of you introducing yourselves in detail, who you are, what you do, and what it is you basically you're here for. And let's just dive into this NFT space. Well, what's this? What's all this hype that everyone is talking about? What's it all about? Let's try and get to understand it in depth. So I'd like to leave the session to Kabochi, who's most likely to run most of it because he's the expert here in regards to NFTs from doing good. Yeah, shoot, Kabochi, the floor is yours.
Hey everyone, my name is Kaboshi. I don't know why I'm being told to run the session. I had no idea I was gonna run the
No,
session. This is a bit
I'm
like,
running. I'm here. Because most of the
yeah.
questions are going to be directed to you. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Again, hi everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is okay. My name is Kaboshi Gitao. I am a community leader at Doing Good, but I'm also an artist who works with Nyege Nyege in the digital department. So basically everything that deals with just anything that's digital with crypto and like NFTs, I basically help run that. But I'm also an artist in on the label, and I'm really excited to be here.
Right. Yes. Kea, you're welcome. And Job, you're also welcome. Yes, Somto, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Somto Ajulichuku, and I'm the founder of Vortex, a Pan African company based in Nigeria, keen on exporting African culture through interactive and digital media. Um, yep, thanks for having me at Tribe Uganda. It's a movement I first discovered at the Nikon a few years ago in 2019, and I'm excited to be reaching out to the community virtually. So thank you, and Tate, for having me on board.
Pleasure. Yes, Kea, please, the floor is yours. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Hello guys, my name is Kaya. I didn't know Kaya. My just
Sorry, the reception is a bit hazy.
I will say I'm still following you guys as well on the platform and look forward to you guys.
Right, sorry, I did catch most of that. I don't know whether you guys had him, but the network is a bit hazy from Kea's side. Like Kea, maybe I'll just jump in there. Kea is Ugandan from Kampala. He's the president of Enter Africa and founder of Telalila, a project he's running within Enter Africa. And he's very enthusiastic with NFTs and the digital space. And he's a performing artist, a performing musician, rapper. So hoping maybe we'll get a freestyle in the end. All right, Job, the floor is yours. Maybe you'll introduce yourself.
Um, Good evening, everyone. My name is EN Ijop. I'm the founder and I'm the founder and chief. I'm the founder and chief executive of Zebra Comics PLC. It's a publishing company here in Cameroon.
Oh, all right, cool.
I don't know if you guys can hear me properly. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
chopping.
we can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we'll dive right into it. Kabuchi, would you please take the floor and explain to us um, what doing good is, and just basically a rough intro, brief intro of an in-depth intro of what NFTs are, and what what we should expect out of them, we as artists.
Sorry, Lorian, could you repeat that?
A brief intro on NFTs, what they are, and what doing good is, and what it's doing about with NFTs. You got that? Hello, Kabuchi? What's happening? Kabuchi, can you hear me? Hmm.
I'm not sure you can hear you. Huh?
Whom have we lost? Is it him we have lost? Oh, he had gone off.
Yeah,
All right, there he is. Yes, welcome back. So we were asking, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
a brief intro on what NFTs are and what doing good is doing about this NFT space.
All right. So basically, doing good is a creator ecosystem that uh, is basically focused on like basically more creator based. It's a basically a more creator based ecosystem um, that's supposed to help artists or like that focuses more on artists like minting their creations and um, basically bringing artists together that focuses mostly on the community and um, what NFTs are. Are we still there? Is everyone everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Yes, you can hear me. All right, cool. And yeah, basically what NFTs are, I think the way I look at NFTs is an opportunity as opposed to getting into the technical terms of the blockchain and all these terminologies. For me, I look at NFTs as an opportunity. Um, Maybe 3, 4 years ago, these PNGs, these JPEGs, they never had any value, and you could never do anything with a JPEG. But now you can be able to you can trade this JPEG that you made on your laptop, and you can tell someone that, hey, this is something that has value, and it depends with the community that you built. And I think basically like what doing good is striving to do is to be able to focus on all these communities of creators in different regions, like not just like Kampala, Kenya, Uganda, or like other regions in Europe, uh, but basically put all these communities together to create something that can be able to be exported, not just to to the people in the know about what NFTs are, but also to people who don't know, who have no idea of what NFTs are. So I look at NFTs as an opportunity for anyone who uh, makes any kind of creation, any kind of digital art, any kind of art, as a way of them to be able to make money from it, make an income from it. And that's I think that's what I would say about what NFTs are, in a nutshell, what doing good is.
Okay, thank you for that brief one. So, what was it like for you in the start? Were you hesitant to jump in on this NFT thing? Like, I'd like to confess, like some of us have been. Um, what was it like for you in the beginning? Where did you first hear of it? Where did you get to learn straight into it and get to understand it? And like, what has the journey been like for you? What's been your experience?
So I think the first time I ever heard about NFTs was maybe somewhere last year, but that was something that was in passing. I was like, oh, maybe this is just like a fad that's gonna pass. But um, when Beeple sold his piece for 69 millis, that's when everything started to click. Everything started to click. I was like, oh, cool. Well, this is something that's happening, and then we started seeing more artists like Grimes and like all these artists really getting in and really starting to like make all these different creations. And I've always been interested in digital art. I, I am a creator of digital art, and this is something that's always been of interest to me. And it was always a very hard sell to it was always a very hard sell to tell someone that, hey, I just made this piece digitally on my laptop, with like with a software, and hey, here, like, let me sell this to you. It was always a very hard sell, because they're like, well, someone, you could just recreate this, you could just like copy and duplicate this. Well, so where does the value come in? um and my first mint was with OpenSea. And I remember putting up, I had the privilege or the pleasure of being linked up to someone who was already in the game and was already in the know. And they were like, hey, there's something that's already happening. uh let's do something together. Or let's try and mint some of the work that you put out, because I was already selling digital art, but I was selling them as prints. And so the first time I minted something, I didn't even have enough money to mint, because the gas prices was so expensive, and I wanted to mint like 15 pieces at a go. And this person really came through, and they were like, all right, cool, let me, like, I'll give you a helping hand. Let's see what happens. And we put all these 15 pieces up, and in a span of maybe 2 3 days, all of the pieces were gone, all of the pieces were sold. And it was such an exhilarating experience to know that something that I had made on my laptop, has been sold and had value, and I could be like, hey, I actually sold pieces. And it was such a beautiful experience. And from then on has just been like a constant thing to try and make more things and be intentional about how I'm putting this out. And it's just not, again, it's just not with the pieces alone, but it was also with the music. So how do you how do you make a drop interesting? How do you make that thing which you're launching interesting, to where it's just not one-sided? Because yes, you can make digital art, yes, you can put it out, yes, uh, but what's the other skill set that you have? For me, it's I'm a musician. And so one of the ways that I thought was interesting was how, like, pairing up the music that I make with some of the digital art that I create. And a big inspiration was when Kings of Leon dropped their album, and the entire thing was going to be sold as an NFT. And so I sort of did the same thing, but this was, for me, was like small snippets that were paired together with with the artwork, and this worked really well. From there on, I that's when I moved to Foundation, and from Foundation I moved into doing good.
Well, that's awesome. Um, I hope I hope a number of people will relate with you because maybe have all been in the same boat. We have Kay as well, who's a musician here, so I'm hoping he'll also have something interesting to share as well. So anyway, next up we'll have Somto. So Somto has the Vortex Corp, and um, Somto, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am. Thanks for having me. Ntate, how are you?
Yeah, awesome. So Somto has had an interesting journey as well, and been we met just 2 years ago at Nikon, and he has been able to get connected to various number of digital artists, of artists basically, comic book artists, animators across the continent. So Somto, what's your story? How does this interest for NFT jump in? Could you share your video?
No, no, I really share a video right now. So sorry. Yo, we just have to deal with my avatar. No
It's okay,
vex.
cool.
So yeah, I'm. Our vision has always been to export African culture through digital art, and looking at the NFT market, which basically gives you the ability to create value on your art on the blockchain, you know, and not just the value of a single sale, but the continuous value of perpetual sale, which means that if I sell my art now, if the next person sells it, I still have a percentage of that work. It sort of reevaluates the way that we look at art. Even the traditional art that has more sale value than digital art, I'm talking about a painting or a sculpt work. Um, the artists don't even get to own percentages on after sales. So the NFT market really broadened my perspective on how far digital art can go. And really, it's beyond just the sale of art. Like yesterday, Nike bought our TFK for millions of dollars because it's a virtual clothing design company, which also dabble in NFTs. But because of the presence of the metaverse, it only solidifies that NFTs are not just a thing that is happening on the blockchain, but it's actually you actually not just adding value to the arts, but through software and technology like the metaverse, it's adding function. So these digital artworks don't just have value in the digital space, but now they have function in the digital space, and that is beyond valuable. Um, um, what we are excited about the most is the ability to take comic books and animation because I spent the last 6 years of my career building a large catalog of comic books and also even aggregating comic books from across the continent. Um, but then also taking a look at building an animation studio as well, and looking at how all that whole creative team can feed into, the non fungible token market, and it's the opportunities are really limitless. You know, it's a safe space because a lot of people have question marks around it and asking if it's a sustainable market. I think that's a question for the investor, right? If you're an artist, um, it's only just opportunity for you to create long-term value for your work. Because if you weren't maintaining it as an NFT, it'll probably be sitting in your computer or sitting on your Instagram. So there is no loss in joining the NFT market. I think your biggest investments would be minting, and even on minting, partnerships that you could make, um, you know, that could, serve you a safety net, especially on your first campaign into the NFT market. And that's what we're launching next year under the new department which we're opening called VX Interactive, where we begin to finally focus on interactive entertainment. and just the interactive and digital world, with more focus in terms of business opportunities and in terms of virtual function. So yeah, we're very excited about it. We have a number and range of different ideas that we are excited to put out there to see how it reacts with the market. Um, you know, um, I can't remember his name, but the guy that last spoke, um, he did mention how NFTs can be applied to music. It's really a really interesting perspective. I'll definitely love to know what he's doing more, and get to know if Do Good is an NFT platform itself where they make sales, or if it's just like a brand that is in the production of NFTs. So I definitely would love to hear from him a little bit more on that whenever it's his turn to speak, or maybe if Fantastic can connect us together after, that would be exciting. Um, but
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
that's pretty much uh, that's pretty much what my take on NFTs at the moment.
Yeah, you guys, Vortex seems to have an interesting plan. Yeah? I think, yeah, definitely we'll have a thing where all of us will get to sit in and get to pay attention and listen more on what you have to share about what what you're planning for the entire African creative community. So yeah, thank you very much, Somto, and hoping to hear from you again in regards to other more on NFT space. Care, you
Yeah.
have been a musician for quite some time, yeah, and um, you have found yourself into this gamification space. This is from Enter Africa, and now I learned that you're into NFTs. Yeah. First, give us a brief background of where it has all started from. This art vibe of yours, and what's NFT to you? I mean, why NFTs? Try and convince us. Uh, you're muted. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. No. Well, as you try to fix your sound, maybe we can have Job jump in and introduce himself, and yeah, get to get to explain what's who are you, what is it you're doing. Tell us about Zebra Comics. Tell us about Cameroon. What's the reception like there for comics and NFTs, and tell us something. Tell us something about you.
Hello, guys. I'm En Ijop. N stands for Nathaniel. The other E stands for Ijop as well. So it's Ijop Nathaniel Ijop. So I'm the founder and chief executive of Zebra.
Yeah. Hello, Job.
Lauren, can you hear me? I feel like I'm talking to myself. Hello?
Job. Yes, Job. We can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Please
Good.
go on.
I would say that I'm the chief executive of Zebra Comics in Cameroon. Um, Zebra Comics is a publishing house, and we are also working on an animation studio, but we are not ready with it yet. We're still working on building the team and building the space where they want. But for now, we're focused entirely on production of comics. The current objective is to create content here before we launch on a new platform we're developing. And our new platform is going to be a new mobile app. We used to have, or we do have an app, but for several
Oops.
reasons, like correcting, we shall be launching it sometime within 2022. We're thinking that the second half of the year, that's like in June, and we will launch it. And when we launch it, or we shall assistant with our releases. We have spent some almost a year and a half producing content that will last a year, so that when we launch, we'll be working on our second year, and so that we can guarantee consistency, so that when people start reading our comics, for example, they will be sure of continuity in whatever title, in whatever piece, comic book you like, or whatever story you like. So that's what we are currently working on. As far as animation is concerned, we are training some few young people right here in Cameroon. We're training some people that will eventually spearhead our animation division. But for now, it's not really strong. It's still at the stage of training personnel. Um, Now, on the topic of NFTs are also something we have been looking into. We haven't fully integrated it into our system, even though we did create some NFTs like the Manjong. It's an NFT we created on OpenSea. Um, we are planning to have some snippets of our comics as NFTs, some characters, some particular scenes. We're going to make some changes to them so that they are actually non-fungible. Um, I do believe that NFTs are here to stay. NFTs they play a lot on how human beings perceive value. You see, like an NFT is just a fancy way of saying that this thing, I own this thing, and you can't find this thing elsewhere, or this thing is my thing. I own the original file of this thing. It's just a fancy way of saying I own a digital Mona Lisa. And I think NFTs are here to stay because when you look at the way it started like a joke, and since then the group, the awareness behind the concept has only increased from the day we first heard the words or the letters NFTs. So I do believe they're here to stay, and I do believe a lot of artists, be it musicians, be it photographers or illustrators, be it even videos, people, videographers and all that, they do have a lot to gain from NFTs. Excuse me. And I do believe that it's something that is here to stay, and it'll be better for us to integrate it faster into our various systems to make it a normal thing, because it does play a lot on how human beings perceive value, and when art, digital art is seen, when there is value attributed or high value attributed to a lot of digital art, it only helps to better our industry. Yeah? So I do think it's here to stay, and I do think that we should integrate it into our various systems. Be it in Vortex Corporation is already very advanced into getting integrated into the
Mm,
systems,
yeah,
and be it musicians and all that. So I
yeah.
do think it's here to stay, and Zebra Comics is definitely going to be very involved in this atmosphere. Thank you.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Um, I feel very obliged, very happy that to see that many of these of these creatives right now are picking interest in this new thing. Yeah, like remember when the internet came in the 19, was it the early 80s, 1990? Uh, Everyone was, like, seeming calling it a vague queer thing. Yeah, but I mean, see us today. We live in the internet literally. So yeah, we may not know where it's headed, but I know it's definitely going to be something interesting. Kabochi, would you give us an in-depth in doing good? What's the plan? What are they really up to? Tell us about the previous launches you've had, and what you guys are planning on doing in the near future. I understand you also part of Nyege Nyege. Tell us how they are factoring that inside, yeah? How they're having NFTs embedded inside there. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Thanks. I'm really excited about like all these. So like while all these guys were talking, I was looking at Zebra comic, the comics. It looks really sick. It's so sad that you guys don't have a website yet. It says it's under construction. That's
They
so
actually
sad, but I'm
do. I
really
think they've
excited to
just
see.
they've just taken it
Yeah,
down. I think
it's
for something. Yeah, but it has always
okay,
been
okay,
up.
but yeah, but it's so sick. I really wanna like, hey, if we
Follow
if
them
I
on
like if
social. Follow them on
I'm
social.
just I'm just looking at their Twitter now. If we can do something together, I'd really love to give you guys a gallery. I hear it's cool that you guys want to like convert some of your like comics into NFTs. I really have some cool ideas on how you guys can do that. So once we get off the call, I'd really love to like you know just like continue the chat. This is really really cool. I really like this. I'm also looking at Vortex 247. I am so like this is so cool, and like I had no idea this exists. I really had no idea all this like amazing stuff exists. But man, like, yeah, let's also you guys are really, it'll be cool if like to give you guys like a gallery or find a way of like integrating that into doing good. So basically what happens is every uh every single country is has the opportunity to be able to come onto the platform and get their own gallery. And what this gallery does is everything that you create, it's just basically like a normal, like an actual physical gallery. And what happens is you can be able to mint everything that you want, anything that you want to be able to mint, you can be able to put on this platform. And it can be in whatever format. So the platform just basically the launched maybe 2 3 weeks ago, and right now it's very curated. So it's like Nifty Getaway when it started off. So everything is very curated, and only a few select people are allowed on there if you have a creator pass. But we also have a gallery section, which is what I was telling you guys about. And I really love to collaborate with you guys, Zebra and Vortex, to maybe get some of these on the platform, because I think these are really interesting. But I think the other thing I was also thinking just before we got on this call is I wanted to talk to you, Lorian. Uh, the fact that you have this digi art community, one of the things I was really thinking is now everyone talks about CryptoPunks as a gold standard, that we have like Board Ape, so we have all these things as gold standards, and they're really going up for like such a huge amount of such huge amounts of money, right? And one of the things that I really am keen on is being able to have, for example, Kampala. One of like the most recognized thing about Kampala is the Ugandan crane. Um, why haven't you guys come together to create a collection of 1,000 or 2,000, 5,000 pieces of different iterations of the Ugandan crane, and mint that as a gold standard of Uganda, and put that on a platform to where people can be able to purchase this, or zebra as well. I don't know what's native to Cameroon, if I'm not wrong, but what's to Cameroon that can be able to be iterated, that can be able to be related not just to the market that's outside, the American market, to the European market, something that a Cameroonian will be proud of holding, that you can tell them that, hey, this thing, whether it's a parrot or whether it's like like something that they can be able to say that this is very Cameroonian, that they can feel, like they'll not feel like, this is a very foreign concept. Because I think that's one of the mistakes that we make, is that it's like we're trying to reach so far, yet we can make something that's relatable to people. For example, that Ugandan crane, if you take that to a local Ugandan and tell them that, hey, like this is something that you can own, that maybe 5-10 years from now, if we create this community of people that are going to care about this thing and really nurture this thing, can hold so much value. And later on, maybe 5-10 years from now, your kid could benefit from this. And I think this is how we need to look at this. So as opposed to wanting to make something that's so far out, and we're trying to sell it to people outside as opposed to trying to sell it to people from our inside. We already have such a strong community here, and I think we should maximize on the community here, uh, to make the other people outside care about what we're doing here.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So we're having connectivity issues with some of these other guys,
okay,
and I'm trying to see how to. Our technical team is trying to get them back on. However, what you shared is quite interesting. Yes, the African continent is not asleep. Yeah,
yeah,
and we are all aware and very awake and certain of what is going on around the world. Yeah, and I'm
yeah,
just glad you're able to see many of these guys. Yeah, and you could see what they're really up to. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, so we're trying as Tribe Uganda, yeah, with there's still a number of very few studios and few artists that have been really picked up interest in this NFT space,
yeah.
and there's still very many that are really holding back. Yeah, um, what would you say about um, what would you say about copyrights? Yeah, we've had many of artists in the NFT space having their work stolen. Yeah, and someone takes over identity of this person's art and goes on the platform and sells it without their consent. Kaya has been a victim to this. It would be really cool if you were on to tell us his experience. This was before the NFT space, yeah. And what's how are you battling this? How are you able to sit down with someone and convince them? How were you able to convince yourself that it's okay? I think it's safe for me. Yeah, let me walk into this. Yeah, there's a bunch of artists here in Uganda that are like, yo, that stuff, no, not me. I hear this, I hear that. I've read too much about this. I hear this. There's about a lot of hearsay here and there. So, how are you guys are doing good handling this? How, especially you, how have you been able to tackle this when you meet artists like me?
I think people. I think it's very important to think about copyright. I think it's very important to think about, oh, I really need to protect my thing. Um, that I have no, there's no reservations there. But I think the other side of this is to understand that it's ideally going to be very inevitable at some point, or it's very hard to be able to control what's happening on the internet. It's very hard to, if you put something out there, it's going to be very hard to um, say that, oh, someone cannot. There's a copy of a Mona Lisa somewhere. There's a copy of a Van Gogh somewhere. There's a copy of a Basquiat somewhere. Whether you like it or not, there's always going to be a copy. There's people who make money. There's people in Japan who are, you literally only have to send them a copy or an image of a painting that you want, and they'll make you an exact copy of that, whatever kind of artist it is you're thinking about, whether it's a Keith Haring or like a Baski, whatever it is, they'll give you an exact copy in however big the size you want, as long as you can pay for it. So it's always going to be a bit hard to carb on every single like copyright infringement that's happening, unless it's happening with music, mostly because now music gets licensed, and so anytime someone will come and try, that will get taken down by YouTube or get taken down by TikTok or Instagram. um, but I think, just like the Nigerian said, I forget his name, which is really bad manners of me. I'm really sorry for this, but he said something really important. He said that it's better this thing is just sitting on your laptop. It's there, it's really not doing anything. Um, you might as well let someone else see the kind of magic that you're making. And holding yourself back and saying that, no, I'm not going to mint this thing because, oh, this and this is going to happen. I, I think it's a very sad way of thinking. It's a very I think it's a very sad way of thinking. It's a very, I'm holding on to this thing so tightly, and not seeing all the opportunities that this thing can bring me. You can be making the most amazing art, you can be making the most amazing products, but if it's not in front of people's eyes, then people will never know that you make it. People will never see. You can make the most amazing music, but if no one hears it, then the no one's going to be there to support it. No one's going to be there to, you know, um, think about like a Banksy, when Banksy is like doing his paintings on walls, and people are scampering to like go and tear down these walls. Um, this man, when he's going to the streets and like he's doing these paintings, all these things, they're made for the public to see, and this raises your status. This, like, part of the reason why Banksy is Banksy is because people can be able to see his, like, the public is there to witness what he's doing. And I think more creators need to think about the art that they create in this way. um and again, just like I said, someone in Japan, or like, there's 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 services now in different parts of the world to where you can send a piece that you like, whatever it is, and you can get an exact copy. um One of the ways which you can beat this with the blockchain is basically saying that, all right, cool, I'm gonna mint my thing, and once you mint your thing, it's already registered in the blockchain. And what's a blockchain? It's just basically um, a way of recording information, a system of recording information, which makes it very difficult for anyone to come and tamper with it. So once this creation is registered on the blockchain, then it's going to be, like, you can say that, hey, this I own this piece. And if someone wants to go and verify, they can go and see that, hey, this is actually on the blockchain. I'll tell you what, yesterday we just gifted Steve Aoki, the DJ, an NFT piece. Um, and if you go to the OpenSea now, he has like an open, wallet. What basically happens, if you want to transfer something, I minted the piece. We finished minting the piece because we already promised that we were going to gift in this piece. We basically transferred this, and you can basically see every single transaction that's happening. And you can see this thing moving from you being the owner of this thing to Steve Aoki being the owner of this piece. And I
It's
think
really
this is
dope.
how, yeah, and I think most people, I think every single creator needs to think about this way, that once you mint this thing, it means that it's yours. If it's on your laptop, I could just come in and unplug my hard drive and just move all the stuff. But if you mint it on the blockchain, then you can say that I actually own this thing, and you can show someone that you actually own it. And if you want to sell it, then you're the rightful owner and you're the rightful seller of this thing.
Interesting, interesting. I hope the viewers um, have picked interest, have changed the perception. Yeah.
Yeah. And if they
Um,
have some dope stuff, please just send them to Lorian to just send me, like, I really want to check out, everyone, because I want to give out as many creator passes as possible, so we can have as many people on the platform as possible.
yeah, I keep getting a few artists who are always asking, so this thing, please explain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think I think first of all, good that there's people that are asking questions about it. Yeah, with
Yeah.
showing a positive or negative energy about it, it still shows that they have that sense of bit of interest, in it. And I think it's best for each and everyone to be patient with themselves, take their time to analyze, understand, yeah, before they jump in. We won't promise you as Tribe Uganda, as me as Lorian, that look, I'm going to help you. It is you. You are the artist. Your craft. You. It's all for you. So, um, moving on to Care. Care has an interesting story you'd like to share. Who he is and his background, music, and what his experience was like. This is off of our discussion with our current ongoing discussion with copyrights. Yeah, Kea had a copyright incident in the past um, that I think would sort of make sense. I don't know, how is you as Kea looking at what happened in the past and jumping into this NFT space? Aren't you really worried that some guy is going to act funny, or is the blockchain really security capped that you feel secure, safe, that no one's going to do any harm to your work?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me to this discussion. I mean, my intentions in that day.
Well, is it me or it's his sound? Go on, Kea. Hello. Well, his network seems to have betrayed him. Anyhow, hey Job, now to you. Um,
Yes.
so tell me, what's Cameroon like, and this blockchain and digital space? What's the vibe over there versus what you've seen elsewhere on the African continent? Are we seeing any light at the end of the tunnel? Are we hoping to see more artists embrace this thing, or are we seeing that it will take a lot more time for every creative to jump in on it?
I think as far as Cameroon is concerned, vis-a-vis the NFT wahala, hmm?
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
going to take a while. It's not really a huge topic right here, right now, as in the geek community. People are just aware, and that's pretty much it. People are just aware that yeah, there's something as NFT, but as far as taking concrete actions to explore this new sphere of doing things, it's not really a big thing here. Huh? People are really taking it slow here. You know, Cameroonians in general, we have a way of doing things. Want to see it work elsewhere before we get into it.
That's the
That's
African
usually
way. I thought.
so. Nah, it's not really a big topic here. Right? People are just aware. I'm talking about artists. They are just aware that there is the worst is just the music sphere of musicians. They don't. It's as if they have never heard about NFTs. I don't hear them. It's just dead that way. But the people who are really aware about NFTs, digital illustrators, and maybe comic book artists and all that. Mostly digital artists in general. But as far as videographers and other, maybe photographers and other image related or audio related artists are concerned, they're not really taking it, they're not really there yet. So I think the Cameroonians were taking it slow, were taking it gently. Huh? It's not really a thing here yet.
I
So that's it.
see.
Lauren.
Okay. And you mentioned that you're having a new platform, yeah, that you're
Mhm.
designing for you getting into this space. I think that explains why your site is down at the moment. So tell us more about that in depth, like
So,
Somto did. What are your
so
plans? We would like to have a sneak peek into these plans of yours.
so our new platform is going to carry the same name as the old one. It's going to be Zebra Comics. When we launch this platform, it's an app. It's a mobile app, iOS, Android, and it's a web app as well. Is simply going to happen is we are going to take down the current app on Google Play Store. It's just there for, I don't know why it's there. I'm not really using it. We'll have to take that thing down one of these days. But
Yeah. Mm.
we have a new app we have developed. The app is actually quite ready, I think, but we are not ready to launch it yet because, like I said, we want to guarantee people or users content for 1 year at least. And we have been working on it for a long while now, almost a year and a half. We have been working for some time now on content. We are almost done. We're not there yet, but the objective is to make sure that we ensure consistency. Because that we have understood that that's one of the things that is slowing our industry and slowing people. People get into a comic, right? Someone can get into a comic. I've seen this a lot, especially with our former app. People get into a comic, they read it, they like it. First issue, second issue, and that's it. They're waiting for the third issue, maybe 2 or 3 months after. It's not good. That period of time they have to wait, they are on to other things, and they maybe forget about your story. Maybe the story was very good, and maybe they were beginning to fall in love with the characters and all that. But if you cannot sustain them, cannot sustain them for some time with that story, it just dies. It just dies. I mean, you can't blame anyone. There's a lot of content out there. You're competing or you're on the same playing field with a lot of content production houses, even the Netflixes and the Amazon Primes. All of these are content production platforms, all vying for our attention. And for you to stay relevant in the user's mind, you have to give something that is not only interesting, but it also should also be consistent. So we decided to take a step back and create the content. Create the content. Make sure we can guarantee consistency before we launch. In the meantime, what we have been doing is we have been selling. We have been using crowdfunding platforms to stay in the minds of our current users or our current fans, if I can put it that way. So what the Zebra Comics app or platform is simply going to do is just going to give you a number of comic book titles, at least 12 of them that are complete, which have been released with following a particular roster, which we are going to release as well. So every week you are going to have a new comic book episode. Doesn't matter the story, but there will be a new comic book title every week coming out. That's there will be an episode coming out every week. It doesn't matter the title. Maybe let's say we're starting with we start by releasing 4 titles, for example. Every week you'll find a chapter of an issue coming up, and we are also working on other content that will fall within the other days. Let's say we are releasing issue one of a particular comic on Friday, and issue one of another of comic B. Let's say comic B on Saturday. Uh, or and issue one of comic C on Sunday. You understand? So there's always going to be content. It's not just content for one. It's not just one chapter per week. It's going to be several comics released every week. So we have been able to create at least half of that yet. That's something that can already last half of a year, and until all of that is ready for 1 year, then we shall launch the the platform. We are also opening the platform to several partners. Our former app used to have other comic book publishers in Africa, like Epoch Comics, Peter Comics, Spoof Comics, and all that. So and Tar Studios, yes, Tar Studios. So we are still opening this. this platform to some of these partners. Some of them have already validated or the renewal of our agreement into providing the content for us to sell or yeah to sell on our platform. So it's not just going to be only Zebra Comics platform, Zebra Comics content. It's also going to be content from other creators across Africa. But one thing we guarantee when we launch is that it's going to be consistent. So we will not have to depend entirely on third party houses to produce content for us to be able to keep the platform alive. As our studios are producing enough content to keep the platform running. So that's what we're currently working on, and the platform is also going to include room for animation projects. So it's going to be
Oh,
comics and
nice.
animation projects. So you can watch movies. We have some people in Africa who have created some short movies. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You're going to have to find out what those movies are.
Hmm.
So you're going to, but most of them are short animated projects. I think there is one long 1 hour 30-minute movie that was done by a Cameroonian studio. That one will be there, and several animated projects. So on the apps, be it Android, iOS, or the web app, you'll be able to read comics. You'll be able to watch animated TV shows. No, not TV shows. Sorry, animated movies. Africa, we don't really have any strong TV shows yet. But they do exist. You remember there is this Kabongo, right? Who,
Yeah.
who remembers Kabongo? Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. So
I
we'll
disagree. I
have some
also
of
think there was
some
Jacob's Cross as well.
yeah, yeah. So we're going to have some animated content as well on the app. So the we are also going to be investing a lot into the communication and marketing of content on this platform, because one of the things with having a platform like this is to make is making it known. So we are investing a lot of our budget. There's a huge marketing budget that's been allocated for the marketing and communication of this platform when once it is released. So in that way, we can guarantee, in a way, our fellow partners that there will be some eyes on their content. We want to make sure that this is really a hotspot where creators can actually earn something, because the goal of Zebra Comics has always been making creators or to earn a living doing what they love to do. We have been able to do that in some degree, because as of now we're one of the few studios in Africa that gainfully employs comic book artists, like full-time comic book artists. These guys, they don't have to do anything else in the office. They have to do All they have to do is comics. They're being paid for it. So we have been able to create an environment where people can be paid for doing comics, and we
All right.
intend to expand that by through our
All right.
distribution platform, which is
All right. Sorry to
primarily
cut you
the app
short.
and
Sorry to cut you
primarily
short, and
digital. So, in a nutshell, I've given you some.
yes.
I'm almost
So
done, though.
thank you very much,
So
Joe.
that's it, man. That's it.
Um,
That's it.
so as we wrap up, jumping in as we get ready for our next session, which is branding an artist and their craft in the digital art scene, in this period, in this era, essentially. Can we give away some part-time, part-away takes? Starting with you, Kabochi, what we should look forward to, where should guys find you? We're going to share all of that off of our social, so guys can follow Doing Good and follow you as well. Same as you, Ejob. Somto was on earlier, he jumped off, he had to run. And same as Care, whom we've missed dearly. So, Kabochi, please jump in.
I think yeah, my parting shot is mint away, man. Like don't feel constricted. It's Web 3.0 is for all the creators. That's what it's for. If you want to come and interact, just the platform is very open. You can find us on the Discord or Telegram. The Discord for Doing Good is DOINGUD. Just come on the Discord. We have some really amazing stuff, really amazing educational stuff. You can come on the Telegram as well, and it's very interactive as well. And I urge every single person to go check out just everything that's happening in the space. Please just go research more and more about it so you can have your own opinions about it. That's it. Thank you again for the platform.
All right. Thank you very much, Kabochi. Job, any parting words for the viewers? Job? All right. I think he's not hearing me. So that was it for this session. We're calling it wraps, and see you in the next session, which is happening now. Cheers. Job, peace, Kabochi, guys. Thank you very much for joining in.